My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Okay, today is December 17, 2021. It's 12 p.m. on the dot. My husband just went to pick up my son to school. He has half a day for the holiday. And I came across a video. There are a lot of things going on Twitter, but I think this is more important. I had more things to record today, but once I finished record my earlier this morning recording, I edited and it's rendering on my laptop before I give my husband this computer. So this one, I thought it was very interesting and I wanted to share it with you, and this is why I'm making this video really quickly. And as soon as I finish edited, I'm gonna put it live on my Pew Team Sussex. It's 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Oh, shoot, there's another one. Is it that one? This guy. Ooh. I may have got the wrong one. Oh, but I'll go in my, let's listen to this.
As powerful, certainly, as the government. And it is also mutually dependent with the government. The press depends on the government to protect it, to pass laws, to serve its interests. They depend on the government in all sorts of ways. Subsidies. Yeah. I mean, all the way through.
And by the way, that was not the video, but this is important as well too. But I'll share it with you anyway.
And the government depends on the press to protect it from criticism. So to tell lies about it, to cover up the stories it doesn't want told, to big up Johnson or whichever ministers are needing bigging up, and this connection is mutual. They know that they're extreme people. They know that the press knows it's extreme, it's hard right, it's racist, it's all of those things. The government knows it's an extreme government. This is completely out of kilter with British history, and they cling to each other. Now, there is no line.
When he said they cling to each other, I'm thinking of the trifecta kind of I sort of have, where they all three works together. You have the government, the newspaper, the tabloid, and the monarchy. So these are people who seeing exactly what's going on, and they're calling out the alarm for these people, for the UK to open their eyes to see what's going on. So that wasn't the one that I wanted to share with you, but this one is as important as the other one as well.
In between them, that's a really important thing. I was asked years and years, students would ask, is the government responsible for this or the press were responsible for this? In the past, you might have been able to tell, but there's no difference between them now. They are the same people, as you say.
Yep.
The Prime Minister is a journalist. Michael Gove is a journalist. There are people from the press in Downing Street. There are people from the Tory party all over the press.
Look, he knows those things more than I do, and I saw it playing out. They all mingle together, and they all keep their plan together. This thing is way bigger than what we're seeing here.
There's no difference, and they also share a background in Oxbridge. They're mates. They're married to each other. We talk about this.
Oh my God! I've been saying this since they've been kids. There was an article that I saw a while back. They were friends since childhood. And they grew up together, and then when they have a position, they call their buddies to come and join it and all of that. Oh my goodness. There he is, Brian Cape Cod, I believe that's him, telling it. I follow him on Twitter.
Christmas party business, I'd be amazed if there weren't journalists taking part in that party, partly because they're married to each other and
There it is.
they're boyfriends and girlfriends, they're partners, they're whatever, and I mean it's so incestuous, it's so close, and that is unprecedented in our history.
Looks
Thanks.
like I didn't see this one. Looks like it's gonna be on tonight and stuff like that. On tonight, Byline TV, and let's see here. Man, let me see if I could find. Let me go on my maybe here, because I know I retweeted it. Okay, I retweeted it. There it is. That's the one I really wanted to show you guys. Okay, this is, I retweeted and I said, "Welp squaddies, I'm not a political science person. For the longest, I've been saying this in my own bootleg ways. Now, this is someone who is more educated and more professional, and this spelling is out for people to understand. The US has a small breather after 2020 election." Alright, this one is the most important one. It is 6 minutes and 31 seconds.
The Downing Street Christmas parties are outrageous. It's the Prime Minister laughing in our faces. But while we've all been focused on that...
And by the way, this is the headline, the title of it. "The government just took away your freedom, George Monbiot." Alright? Let's listen.
The Downing Street Christmas parties are outrageous. It's the Prime Minister laughing in our faces. But while we've all been focused on that, something much, much bigger than that has been slipped past us. The government is taking away our liberties on an industrial scale.
That's
You know
right.
those documentaries you've seen about a dictator's rise to power? And there's always a bit in the documentary where you think, why didn't they stop him? They could have stopped him when there was still time. That's the bit we're at. We
Exactly.
currently have a bill going through its final stages of Parliament, the police bill, which now contains measures which would effectively shut down protest in this country. We'll be banned from locking on or indeed holding on to anything in pursuit of protest. One of the most important protests.
And for some of the people who are in the UK who think this is black and white, this is it. They saw the shiny object, the cancer in our society, racism, okay, to blind you and this. And when they're passing their bills too, guess what? You will not be able to protest. You cannot protest. This is a step-by-step thing. I knew it from way before. It's like once they see something, they feed off of it and they feed off of it and create other things. The main thing for these things were for people not to be protesting against the monarch. Alright, so now the government see opportunity, not only seeing their opportunity to do their own thing, because the monarch is with them on that, is that they're making it to their advantage. So when they're putting bills, the monarch is not that in a solid foundation here, because as they're creating or probably giving hint to the government, don't do this for me, do that for me, and then the government is doing it. At the same time, they're looking at their own interests. Okay, I have to stop in between so I don't get flagged for this video, and probably the UK may not even see it because but anyway, yeah, this is what they're doing here. Nobody's seeing it.
Tactics around the world, used throughout history. You can't interfere in any way with the construction of any new major infrastructure. So you can't protest against a road being built, an airport being expanded. New stop and search powers, which the police will be able to deploy against anyone who they suspect might be carrying equipment for a protest, and indeed other powers where they can stop and search us without suspicion. But even worse than that is this power to ban named people from going to any kind of protest. You put them on a list and those people are then banned from all engagement with protest, even from being able to go on the internet and talk about protest, anything like that, you'll be banned. Even though...
And the thing is that we have seen these before, and history is our blueprint. We've seen it. It works both ways. As these people rising to power, alright, guess what? At some point, they're gonna crash too. But on the process, there's gonna be some casualties. unnecessary casualties because so many people did not stop it when it was, starting. Okay?
Oh, you've committed no crime. Our basic democratic liberties are being taken away from us. So obviously, the media, the establishment, parliament, they're all up in arms. They're in uproar over this. In your dreams, you could hear a pin drop. Almost no discussion at all of these massive dictators' powers. Parliament is almost silent on it. The Labour Party is almost silent on it. The press is censoring itself. We don't need that next stage towards autocracy where government censor the press because it's already happening.
That's right. They're all working it together. This is why those individual journalists, are putting the word out. Nobody's listening. A good amount of people are not listening. Wow. It's the alarm. The alarm is there.
What's very interesting about this is that we have a whole discourse of freedom on the right. We have all these freedom warriors like Julia Hartley-Brewer and Lawrence Fox and Toby Young.
Okay, I'm not in the UK. I don't know these people. But when you see many of these people in quiet, you could see that they're playing all sides. It's one of those type where they implant people in different positions, but in the end, they all the same. They just wanna know names, pretend to be something, but they're not.
And Steve Baker and Oliver Dowden and Nadine Dorris, all these people who position themselves as being in favour of liberty. Not a squeak from any of them about these massive truncations of our freedoms.
Well, like I said, I don't know these people. I'm not in the UK, but I see them the same way as that organization that try to tell Harry how he manages money with the foundation and stuff like that. Was it Republic? Okay, they're all the same. The institution play all sides. I've said this. They play all sides. We see what, in my humble opinion, what we're seeing here, it's what happened to Germany, and now it's happening over there. Okay? Again, this is just my humble opinion. I'm not a political science person, like I said in my tweet, but this guy is saying exactly how I saw it.
The only freedoms they care about are their own.
Exactly.
Not just the police bill, which has been slipped past us, where we've all been focusing elsewhere. It's also the nationality and borders bill, an unbelievably oppressive piece of legislation, where it enables, on a whim, the government to take away your citizenship, to take away your passport. And this could apply to up to 5 million people.
Guess what that just reminded me of? What they did to Megan. When she got over there, they took her passport. Alright? So, it's playing out right in front of us. We're seeing it, the warning bells and everything. Like I've always said, the US is not that far. We have to keep on fighting.
Predominantly people of colour. It's enacted the fantasy which people like the British National Party and the National Front used to entertain decades ago. It's actually turned it into policy. And it's gone through with scarcely a scrap of coverage.
You see, I'm not even over there. So a lot of things are happening. Nobody's complaining. Nobody's complaining. And they threw that clickbait, the cancer in our society, the race issue. But in the end, we are our own worst enemy. Okay?
Again and again now, the government is passing these massive, history-changing bills, and the media is looking elsewhere. How can this be? What's going on here? What is this hypnosis which we seem to be under? Media and government, government and media, the same figures go round and round. And they use all the skills and all the contacts which they accumulated as journalists and deploy that cleverness on behalf of their new political masters. Allegra Stratton is a classic example of this. She worked in newspapers and television before.
I don't know if that video come out, but I highlighted in one of my videos that I think I edited yesterday, so it's not out yet. This one might come out. The one that I'm talking in right now might come out before it.
Becoming the Prime Minister's spokesperson. She was the one who was caught laughing about that Christmas party and had to resign.
Okay, so
basically the fourth.
I got it right, because in the video that I was just talking about, I wasn't sure if she was the same person because, you know, I'm not over there. I'm not familiar with all of those names. But be ready for it. It's coming soon.
Guy for Johnson, because the favourite Tory blood sport is shooting the messenger. But she was indicative of this meshing of media and government. If the media exists for a purpose, it is to hold power to account. But the great majority of the media reinforces power. Boris Johnson is the most dangerous Prime Minister we've had
think so too.
in the entire democratic era.
I think so too.
He creates this impression of being relaxed and funny and spontaneous and bumbling and incompetent. It's all calculated.
Exactly.
And he disarms people with this impression of bumbling incompetence, but he's absolutely ruthless when it comes to the pursuit of power.
Bingo. He says it exactly the way I've been trying to say. He's spot on. Okay, look at Trump. Okay, Trump was doing exactly the same thing. And this is why I give really a lot of credit to many of Republicans who said they're not taking that BS, because our liberty, freedom was being chipped away without us being known. And you could see the amount of not only cover up, team up that they had in Washington to make things happen. Do you see, if you pay attention to what's going on in the US about text messages that were being sent and all this BS that were going on? Okay, this is what going on voting does. Because if we did not go and vote, whatever's happening in the UK, we'll be seeing it in the US. But this guy is absolutely right. I believe Trump and this guy Boris, same thing, very dangerous. And then the US is not out of the woodwork yet, because their plan is to make sure Trump get back in power. And what if he does? If he does, I don't even want to think about it.
And he senses weakness in our political system like a shark smells blood. And so he homes in and exploits that weakness to great effect. If there's one thing that the history of the past 100 years tells us, it is beware of the clowns. People who seem ridiculous are the most dangerous people of all
That
in
is true.
politics. We weren't sufficiently aware of the dangers of the clowns.
And the thing is that people are warning, people like him, okay, are warning the citizen of the UK. Be aware. But guess what? As I'm saying this, whatever comes up must come down. Okay? Whatever comes up must come down. It's a lot of work for it to come down, but people have to work for it. And when he does fall down, it's going to be a hard fall. Just remember that part. Because when you see all these people grouped in together to make things happen, to take away your freedom and all of that, look what happened to Hitler. We would not even imagine how this would come about to an end, but it did. But what history have tell us, there's always a beginning, and there's always a middle, there's an end. Right now, we are at a crossroad before we could continue to the path that we're going through. If we decided to make the proper step and stop focusing on black and white, okay, racism, and focus of your freedom, then you'll see. We'll change the course of our history.
And we elected one as Prime Minister.
The
whole thing exploits that weakness to great effect. If there's one thing that the history of the past 100 years tells us, it is beware of the clowns. People who seem ridiculous are the most dangerous people of all
That's
in
right.
politics. we weren't sufficiently aware of the dangers of the clowns, and we elected one as Prime Minister. The whole thrust of unaccountable power is that you can do things that other people can't. You don't have to abide by the rules because you're powerful. You're above all that. It's the other people who do. And so we have this situation in this country where the Prime Minister and his cronies are mocking us. As we abide by the COVID rules, they just ignore them and laugh in our faces. And while they're doing so, they impose the most draconian legislation in living memory on the rest of us. This is how dictatorship works, and we are sliding towards it at the moment.
Yep.
The motive power of dictatorship is that there's one rule for the elite and a completely different rule for the people.
And the thing I'm a little bit afraid with for my kids' generation is who's gonna take the next step? Who's gonna be the one to speak the truth? Because everybody sees money. Well, not everybody. Majority of people sees money as their ultimate goal. They'll do anything for money. But principle, values, dignity, respect, I don't know. We just need to pray. Let's do a prayer since I said that. I see prayer. I don't know. What is that? For brighter future? Let's say brighter future, because my goodness, this is very scary. All right, let's see here. Father, bless me to become all you create me to be. The plans you have for me are for a bright future and endless possibilities. As I become more dedicated to living my dreams and fulfilling my purpose, I will seek you and know I will find you. In the process of finding you, I will discover me. Yeah, this is very scary. All right, let's go to image. Pick one. Let's see this one. For I know the plan I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. I'm gonna stop here. Something tells me to read this one. I'm thinking of Big Bell. Maybe I'll send that. Let me do this and then that's it. O God, our help in ages past. Our God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast, and our eternal home. Under the shadow of your throne, your saints have dwelt secure. Sufficient is your arm alone. Our defense is secure. Before the hills and others stood, or earth received her frame, from everlasting you are God, to endless years the same. 1,000 ages in your sight are like a evening gone, short as the watch that ends the night before the rising sun. The busy tribe of flesh and blood, with all their lives and cares, are carried downward by a flood and lost in following years. Time, like an ever-rolling stream, bears all the sons away. They fly forgotten as a dream dies at the opening day. Our God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast, and our eternal home. So that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. And yes, we need to pray, but I don't know how we're gonna get out of it. Well, the UK is gonna get out of it because these people have their people in every corner to make their plan work. Good luck. Good luck, not only to the UK, to the rest of the world. That's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. And if I'll leave this guy that I just showed on the video. I guess you could look at the thing. I think he has a Patreon thing, and if you guys want to follow him, follow him. Alright, so that's it.
to the Vinaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.